Hey there, Startup Nation. Welcome back to another episode of Level Up, where we help you build and grow your dream practice and really work with the clients you love. And Level Up is always about answering your most burning questions about private practice. We are Kate and Katie from the Private Practice Startup, and today's question comes from Marie Marcato. And Marie wants to know, what are the pros and cons of submitting an out-of-network like super bill for your client?
Good question. Before we dive into that, we just want to say thank you so much to TherapyNotes for sponsoring this series and being a huge support to Startup Nation. For your first 2 months for free, check out therapynotes.com and use code PPS.
All right, let's dive in. So pros and cons for out-of-network billing. Well, one thing I will share, and I'm glad that you mentioned TherapyNotes, Kate, is I do believe that a lot of electronic health records do have the ability for you to submit an out-of-network claim for your client. So that's definitely a pro, and it's done with ease and technology. So that's an awesome pro. Another pro would be that your client would actually get reimbursed for the services that they might not have gotten reimbursed for before. There's definitely some cons. Kate, any more pros that you want to share?
I think those are the only pros that I could think about. It's nice to be able to leverage an EHR to be able to seamlessly submit claims, whether in network or out of network. So that's really nice. If we're going to transition over to the cons, I see there are a lot of cons if you're doing this yourself. If you're taking on the responsibility of obviously you're going to complete the super bill regardless, because it needs all the diagnostic codes and criteria on it in order for the insurance companies to accept it and potentially reimburse the client after their deductible's been met at whatever percentage that is. However, there is a lot of work that goes into that if you are submitting claims outside of the EHR. So let's just talk about it like the old school way. And the amount of time, sometimes you have to go back and forth with the insurance company because something wasn't correct, or they want more information, or you thought that they were going to be able to cover couples therapy, but it turns out they're not. And it might set up this expectation, if you're going to take on the burden of that and the responsibility to do all of this extra work, that your clients think that they're definitely going to get paid, even if you give them the disclaimer and you explain everything to them. So there's a lot of cons in our perspective, and Katie and I have gone a different way in our own practices, and also like to educate therapists about another way of going about that as well. Katie, you want to talk about that?
Well, I was going to say is, really put the responsibility on the client. Is that where you're going?
Yes.
Yeah. So share with the client that, insurance doesn't always reimburse, and they really have to understand their policy in and out, make sure that they get documentation from their insurance company about what they reimburse and what they don't. Of course, work in collaboration with your client, if it's something that's, that you can bill. A lot of times couples counseling is not billable, so you don't want to have an expectation and disappoint your client, but also letting them know that you are going to have to diagnose them. You'll provide them this super bill out-of-network benefits for their insurance, and really have them take the lead on that. And remind them, just because you are creating this super bill that they can send to their insurance company, that doesn't mean they will get reimbursed. I remember a story when I was working with a couple. I had shared that with them. They wanted to go through it anyways. The insurance company sent me kind of like this generic blanket letter. I actually had to have a billing person look at it and tell me I submitted everything. I'm not sure. So one of the other cons too is then kind of getting caught up in that and having to make phone calls. And we all know how long you would be on hold with the insurance company, and it's not always easy. And I know when I've even called my own insurance company, I don't always get straight answers, and it can leave things very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
So those are definitely some cons there.
I'm getting flashbacks to when I used to be a utilization review coordinator at an intensive outpatient program for a hospital. And I'm telling you, I would want to pull my hair out after one insurance call of being on hold for ages and ages and ages and having to advocate for all of this treatment for patients. Anyways, I'm getting flashbacks to that. So after I went into private practice many, many years ago, I just always used the out-of-network option and gave clients a super bill, and I educated them. I made sure that they were informed consumers about what it meant to use the super bill in terms of diagnosis and all of that, and just encouraged them to take responsibility for it. And I never had a bump in the road with it. It was really so much easier to not have that burden on my shoulders. So we encourage you to think about that and educate your clients if you're going to encourage them to do it. And yeah, Definitely makes
It's
a big
funny,
difference.
you know, guys, like I've known Kate probably for over a decade now, and I didn't even know that you did that, Kate.
I
Well,
did.
thanks for
Many,
sharing.
many moons ago.
Yeah. So some of the things we want to pop in the resources section of this video, this post for you guys, is we do have a super bill template. If you don't have one already, you can purchase one. If you are already using an EHR, I would check with them to see what type of out-of-network billing that they do. If you are, you know, curious about using an EHR, try TherapyNotes out. You get 2 months for free, and work with them.
Yeah, and if you guys have additional questions you want us to answer in this Level Up series, look for the Ask Us post. It comes out every Tuesday, and we are happy to answer your questions. And in the meantime, if you are struggling or feeling stuck in private practice, definitely also check out our private practice e-course and coaching programs. The e-course is 24/7, 365. You can take advantage of that at any point in time. And coaching, we offer that several times a year.
So, Startup Nation, we will see you next time on our Level Up series. And remember, in the meantime,
You guys got this.
you do. Take care, everybody.